Woohoo, it's Friday, and I've been waiting to tell you about this week's song all week. I alluded to it on my closing on Monday when I said, that's the coat, Nadia, that's the coat. Any ideas? So where are we this week? We've done the story, Nadia, the interview room, the moment the apology didn't arrive. We've done the science, range, working identity, and the paintbrush career. And now we bring it home with a song that no one is going to see coming. Welcome back to Unshakeable Her, helping ambitious women who are constantly second-guessing themselves build the daily habits that compound into unshakable confidence. I'm Caroline Esterson, and I'm in your corner. It's Friday. We've watched the story. We've understood the science. Now we're closing the week with a song that holds everything we've covered, so you can carry the week with you when the podcast ends. Plus 3 quick-fire career moves, small enough to use before Monday morning and sharp enough to make a 2mm difference where it counts. Because Unshakeable isn't built in a moment, it's built in the moves you make between Mondays. Let's go. Here's what you'll get from today's episode. So firstly, that song written by a woman who spent her whole career being told she was too much, not enough, and completely wrong, and who became one of the most beloved artists in history anyway. The parallels will not be subtle. 2, my honest, practical answer to the question every zigzagger dreads. How do I explain my career history without apologising for it? And 3 little moves to help you own your unconventional path in interviews, in your own head, and in the story you tell the world. Let's get to it. So this week's song is, drumroll please, Coat of Many Colours by Dolly Parton. And if you're thinking, Dolly, in a career podcast, bear with me, because this song, written in 1971, is one of the most quietly radical things I've ever heard. Dolly grew up poor. Her mother, with no money for new clothes, stitched together a coat for her from rags. Things other people had thrown away or didn't want anymore, and she sewed love into every stitch. And she told Dolly, this coat is worth more than all the finest clothes in the world. Dolly wore it to school, where, of course, the other kids laughed at her. And she couldn't understand why, because she knew what that coat was made of. She knew every patch had a story and that it had been made with more care than anything money could buy. I couldn't understand it, she said, for I felt I was rich. Now, tell me that's not the zigzag career. Every patch in your coat, every pivot, every unexpected roll, every sideways move that made people raise their eyebrows was sewn in with something. Graft, curiosity, necessity, courage, a decision to follow what you are actually good at rather than what looked good on paper. Other people might look at your coat and see scraps, but you know what it's made of. And here's the Dolly lesson, the one that matters most today. She never stopped wearing the coat. She didn't explain it away. She didn't fold it up and hide it. She wrote a song about it and sang it to millions of people for 50 years. That is what owning your unconventional path looks like. Not pretending you have confidence that you don't, just knowing deeply, quietly, and of course, unshakably, what your coat is made of and wearing it. What would Caro do? Sometimes you don't need permission, you just need better advice. So the scenario this week for what would Caro do? You're updating your LinkedIn and you're staring at your career history, feeling it looks a little chaotic. 3 industries, a freelance gap, a role that was a sidestep. You want to present yourself in a way that makes sense to people, but you don't want to twist the truth or erase the bits that made you. What do? First, I would stop trying to make my career history look linear. It isn't, and the attempt to make it so just produces a confusing mush that satisfies nobody. Recruiters aren't stupid. They can see the pivots. What they can't always see unless you show them is the logic. So I would write a LinkedIn about section that leads with a through line. And we mentioned this on Wednesday, not the chronology. What is the golden thread that runs through everything you've done? For Nadia, it was this. She's always been the person who helps others perform better under pressure. That was true in the classroom, true in L&D, true in people leadership. The job's changed, but the through line didn't. Find your through line and lead with that. Second, I'd name the pivots before anyone questions them, not defensively, just proactively. My career has been deliberately non-linear. Here's what each move gave me. You control the narrative before someone else writes it for you. And then third, I would pick 3 capabilities I am genuinely proud of and trace each one back through the zigzag to show where it came from. That's your coat described out loud. Each patch named, each colour explained. That's what I do. That's my refusal to let you undersell yourself for another week. But what will you do? So the key lesson for this week is stop editing your career story to make other people feel comfortable. You don't need to lead with an apology. You don't need to over-explain, and you don't need to perform the version of your career that looks most conventional. You just need to tell it, the real version, with the through line, with the pivots named as assets, with the quiet confidence of someone who knows what their coat is made of. The right people, the right employers, collaborators, and opportunities will recognize a well-made coat when they see one. 2 millimeters. The next time someone asks about your career, tell it without the apology. Just once. You might be surprised by what happens. So that's this week's Zigzag career story done. Nadia's interview room, the range advantage, Herminia Ibarra's working identity, and, of course, Dolly Parton's coat. Not forgetting the 3 moves to help you wear your coat with your shoulders back and your head held high. Your zigzag is not a liability. It is a coat made of every brave, curious, unconventional decision that you have ever made. And you know what? It fits you perfectly. That's it from me this week. Before you go, one ask. If something this week made you nod, laugh, or think finally someone said it, leave a rating wherever you're listening. Just a couple of taps, that's all it takes. Because somewhere this weekend, a woman is going to search for help. She'll be tired, a bit fed up, probably circling a Sunday night spiral about Monday morning. Your rating is what tells her this show is worth her time. You're the proof. Every star is a woman saying, I was where you are and this helped. That's how Unshakable spreads. Thank you. I'm Caroline Esterson. You came here for career advice, but what you're really building, week by week, move by move, is someone nobody can shake. See you Monday.